from Washington, this is VOA News. Pro-democracy protesters take to the streets of Hong Kong. Liberia's chief medical officer in a self-imposed quarantine against Ebola. I'm Vincent Bruce, reporting from Washington. Leaders of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement have launched a mass civil disobedience protest to demand genuine democratic reforms for the former British colony. Organizers of Occupy Central with Love and Peace said early Sunday that the occupation of the streets outside government headquarters has officially begun. The announcement came hours after riot police in Hong Kong arrested dozens of student protesters who forced their way into government headquarters late Saturday. Liberia's chief medical officer, Bernice Dahn, has put herself under a 3-week quarantine as a precaution against the Ebola crisis. Bernice Dahn told reporters Saturday she has no symptoms but wants to make sure she's not infected after the death of one of her assistants due to the Ebola virus. The World Health Organization on Friday reported that 150 people in Liberia have died of the virus in just 2 days. African conflicts were spotlighted Saturday at the United Nations General Assembly in New York, including a special high-level meeting on Mali. VOA's Margaret Bashir has an update from the UN in New York.
UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon opened a special session on Mali, saying the international community had come together to support the country's political process because it is the key to Mali's stability. Meeting participants, which included the French foreign minister, expressed strong support for peace talks underway in Algiers between the government and rebel groups. Margaret Bashir, VOA News, the United Nations.
Volcano in central Japan erupted Saturday, stranding dozens of hikers climbing its slopes. This is VOA News. Planes from Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and the United Arab Emirates joined U.S. jets and remotely piloted drones Saturday in attacking Islamic State militants in Syria and Iraq, according to U.S. military officials. VOA State Department correspondent Scott Stearns has more from the United Nations, where Russia says the coalition against the Islamic State is violating international law.
In Syria, Allied aircraft hit 7 sites, including an Islamic State vehicle near Al-Hasaka. Jordan, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates have joined U.S.-led attacks against Islamic State fighters. United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan told the UN General Assembly Saturday that Islamic State threats are expanding beyond the Middle East. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says those involved in attacks against Islamic State in Syria are violating international law and the UN Charter. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the United Nations.
Somalia has announced a $2 million bounty for new al-Shabaab leader Ahmed Omar Abu Abiyed. Somalia's intelligence chief told VOA's Somalia service that the bounty will be paid to anyone who provides information leading to Obayed's capture and prosecution. In an address to the United Nations, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he wants serious talks toward cooperation with Pakistan, but without a shadow of terrorism in the background. India contends Pakistan supports Kashmiri separatists who have staged attacks in the portion of Kashmir that India administers. Rallies and protests against radical Islam have taken place across France following the execution of French hostage Hervé Gordil by militant Islamists in Algeria. Many of France's Muslim community gathered at a rally Friday in front of the Paris mosque to protest the killing. Anan Adouadja from Algeria told reporters of her disappointment.
I don't find words to express myself because I'm very, very disappointed and yes, I'm I'm so sad, believe me. We are here today to think about our victim.
Other rallies are being staged across France. Another is scheduled for Sunday in the French capital. A ruling in the trial of former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak has been postponed. An Egyptian court made that announcement on Saturday, postponing the ruling until November. Political power couple Bill and Hillary Clinton can add a new title to their resumes: grandparents. The former U.S. President and former Secretary of State celebrated the birth of their first grandchild on Friday night. Their daughter, Chelsea, announced the news on Twitter and Facebook on Saturday. I'm Vincent Bruce reporting from Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.